Hello folks, Simulation Full Nation here for day number 3, recap number 3 of FarmCon 21, and one event it's been there today has been probably one of the most interesting for me. We're going to get into all of that in a bit of a brief highlight reel for you. There's a lot to look into, a lot to talk about, some new machines, some hidden machines that we were able to find there as well, including an absolute banger. So let's not waste any more time, let's get right on in there. Wow, man, was that ever a lot to take in there. So today was day 3. Okay, so we already saw the gameplay yesterday. That was great in itself, fantastic, loved every bit of that. But today was very much going to be around about a few different things. It was going to be the placeable system, it was going to be the new crops, and the sound design really, and then there's going to be the Q&A as well, and also a little bit of a fun bale challenge, which did look pretty cool, I'll give them that. But what we're going to start looking in today is we're going to have a bit of a chat around some of the features that we saw, some of the things that I thought were really cool, some of the little hidden features that we saw there as well, some of the new machines that were revealed in the crop types as well. But before we get to that bit, and you want to hang around for that because it's going to be really, really cool to see what we found out in some of the little hidden gems and Easter eggs in the way. But let's first of all start talking about the sound engineering, which to me was staggering. The level of information and the depth that they're going into right now was incredible. To give you an idea, they have a sound engineering team who are looking into all of the different ways to make this really immersive and really realistic sound, and that can involve things like obviously the engine load is something that we know that there's always going to be there. You know, the harder you push your engine, the louder it's going to be, but also the tone of the engine is incredible as well, and they've designed a way to create that. They went into depth as to how they've done that, and to be honest, my brain still hurts trying to think about that, but that's a different thing. We also were able to see how they play around. They have a test track where they look to try out all of these different machines, make sure the sound sounds right when it's loading. We got to hear what it sounds like with some tractors going through the gears, accelerating, what that engine sounds like when it's at full speed rather than accelerating. Some really cool little features on there as well, like the sound inside the tractor cab and what that sounds like, depending if it's a brand new tractor versus an older tractor, which maybe doesn't have quite so strong a sound installation. Really nice touch there. Things like windscreen wipers are going to make more noise as well. It's going to be different if it's a windscreen wiper on the front of the windscreen, or maybe on the side window or on the back window there. You're going to hear the difference there. Kind of think like ETS, ATS for that in terms of how that would sound. Loved it though. Sounded really cool. But that's going to be really interesting to see how that continues and progresses out there as we start to learn more about some of the equipment. But yeah, really nice to see how that one works there, and I thought it was really cool indeed. Moving on, placeables next. Placeable system, as we know, something from 19, it needed a bit of love, it needed an overhaul, and I think it's got exactly that. What we saw in the game today, the placeable system has been completely refined. It looks like it's a lot easier to control and to use. The key bindings and the control inputs have been reduced and made a little bit more streamlined, a little bit more efficient there. So it's actually going to allow you to, to do what you want to do without being confused and actually have full control as well. It looks like they've made it a little bit more responsive, so it's less jerky and you can actually control what you're trying to do a little bit more, which is great. If you look at the placeable buildings as well, there's a whole plethora of buildings, loads more than this came as standard there, and they're all branded, so you get realistic true-to-life buildings, which is pretty cool as well. That can be from animal sheds, it can be just generic sheds, it can be grain dryers, as well as all the production chain systems that you need there as well. So your mills, for example. Crucially as well, I do believe they even touched on having the BGA in there. You can either have one massive large BGA that's in the game, or you can build small kind of satellite BGAs as well, which is nice to have if you want something a little bit smaller for your farm. You can bring that around right on in. But what I really liked was the fencing, which sounds a bit weird, but you can now fence out an area around your yard, for example, there, and it's as easy as clicking on one area. You're going to start with the mouse and then dragging it to the next location and then dragging it around, and that builds your fence. There's no trying to line things up there and then not being able to get the two parts of the fence joined up together. It doesn't look clunky. It doesn't change it at different levels there. It just works. And I think this is where Giants were hoping that the placeable system would be in FS19, and I'm okay with it if it's taken a year to get there, or a generation of the game to get there. That's fine. It looks like it's going to be brilliant now, and I can't wait to see kind of how that evolves and how we get on into it. There's more and more different placeable objects come on in. But yeah, really nice to see that you can really actually build a proper yard up from scratch now. If you really want to do that thing, you've got the whole options to do it, and it will actually look like something that you're trying to build up, rather than, something that looks like all the sheds are split up miles apart there, and it's not going to really work very well. They're all going to be right there for you. So I think that's perfect. I really can't wait to see what that looks like as we get on into it. And crucially as well, as that leads us on to the next stage, when you come set up your vineyards or your olive trees, well, you can actually install those by using the same method. So you go into the Placeable system and you lay out your lines of your vineyards, for example. So really just work very, very well. Looking forward to seeing how that goes. A lot of it's still work in progress, as they allude to on many occasions, but it's coming and it does look rather good. It's also worth pointing out as well that obviously you can install different buildings. That's a given. We've discussed that, but you can also install hedgerows, fences, trees can go in there as well, bushes. You can paint on terrain a lot easier as well, and you can paint the ground level, then add on grass as well. Looks so much easier. It's all done inside that one module as well, so you don't have to go from, you know, leveling off some terrain and then flicking back through and go and find the shed and then bringing that back through and placing it. Oh no, it's not right. Then flicking back across to the terrain model and then go back in trying to alter it. It's all just in that same building there, and it just looks, oh, it looks so much better, folks. It really, really does. Let me know down below what you think about that one. But now, let's get on to some of the fun stuff. So in a really brilliant video today, Ken was able to go into some detail around about the 3 crop types, which was what I really wanted to see. Now, the 3 crop types are obviously going to be sorghum, olives, and grapes. So I went into a little bit of detail about those. But crucially, as we went through those, obviously, we talked a little bit about why they chose those 3 models, or 3 crop types. I think that was really great to see. They chose sorghum because it's very largely popular within North America, which I thought was great to see. Great to have in there. By the way, check out the video as well to see when the sorghum is coming through the header as well, how it feeds through the auger wagon. Oh, it just looks brilliant. Feeds through the auger up into the feeder house. It just looks so perfect. A really nice animation on that one indeed. Really nice crop density as well. Beautiful crop texture to it. It really does look good. They chose the other 2 as well because they were very different to what they already had in, and really allows to expand the modeling really for the whole franchise. So I think that was really nice to see. And some of the machines that we got to see in today's video there were just incredible, and I think we're going to see a lot more of those as well, and it opens up so many different doors, and I am all about that one as well. So I think it was a really strong idea from Giants to bring olives and vineyards in, and it'll also just mean that, you know, things like orchards may not be too far away as well. That Ken even mentioned at the end there, you know, from a modern perspective, if there are other crops that kind of fit the same kind of mold in terms of how you can produce that crop at the end of it, they can bring them on in there as well, which was really pretty neat to see. Your olives and your grapes can be harvested and then can even be sold off as are, or they can be put into the production chains. Sorghum is likely going to go straight into the mill or be sold straight off, but still it's another nice crop to have a good rotational crop in there as well. But the best thing was that we got to see some more machines, and we're going to start by having a look at them. The first one that we got to see there was this little Landini, as we have been able to confirm it. So nice to see Landini come back into the game there. Beautiful little tractor there, lovely little compact thing, got some nice power to it as well, and it's pulling a little Agrosim cultivator on the back of it. Now Ken mentioned that when the typical width between these 2, like between one vineyard and another one there, really each plant, it's going to be about 1.5 meters wide. So these tractors are going to be the compact ranges across the board there. So you can expect to see some really interesting equipment coming in. Landini is certainly one nice to have there. It also makes you think what else will be coming in from that range. Are we going to go bigger again? See some more Landini coming in? You never know really, but we could well do. Now, the other one is a bit of a pat in the back for myself. I did a machines that we're likely to see from Fendt in FS22. And one of them I pointed out was this guy. I mean, just look at it. Look at how cute it is. That thing goes up to about 90 horsepower. If you give it a bit of a kick, it gets up to 100 as well, which is pretty cool. So this is the new Fendt. I believe this is the 211 series. I may be wrong there. But it's a lovely little tractor. Again, compact tractor. It's got a hardy sprayer on the back here specifically for the vineyards as well. But I'm sure you could use it on the orchard farming as well if that was something to come into the game down the way. But yeah, lovely little tractor and sprayer. Now, a lot of people who may have been against orchard farming or vineyard farming, sorry, by saying, you know, the vineyards and olives aren't anything that they may do, and that's fair enough. But like when you get to see this kind of equipment coming in, I'm all for it. I really am. Love to see this, and you could find a reason to use that elsewhere. I have absolutely no doubt about it. To be honest, why wouldn't you? Look at it. It's amazing. It looks really cool. And so next up as well, we saw it already on the CGI trailer, or that was a CGI trailer, but the New Holland Harvester is here, and it is rather special. I love these little things. They look cool. A little bit of detail about this. You actually have to drive it over the road. It's not like it gets onto the road and then it just automatically drives through. You do have to steer it through it and keep it on track there, which would be curious to see how easily done that is, say, on keyboard or controller. But Very detailed harvester there. Very, really do like it. There are animations that show the grapes coming in and working along different belts, which is cool to see. And I just think, again, it's something that's really different. And I just love to see a bit of variety in there. And I think, again, you can come to expect a high level of detail here. And that is certainly bringing it to the party there. But that is the New Holland. New Holland and Giants worked very closely together throughout the whole process of designing the vineyard farming in there, because they knew that New Holland could bring those expertise. So nice to see that Giants have brought in the experts to really push us over the line. Now, this was another surprise. This is a trailer, which in this instance is being used to haul grapes. I'm sure you can use it for everything. I do believe it's a German manufacturer. I cannot quite pronounce the name, but is it like something along the lines of Fürhem? Or maybe. However, nice looking trailer. We knew that we're going to see a lot more brands coming in, specifically when it comes to if this is just used for hauling grapes, which I very much doubt it is, but it's a nice looking dump trailer anyway. I'll take one of those. Most importantly, though, it's being pulled by a Massey on the front. The 3670 is there and it's lugging it. Love to see that indeed. Cannot wait to see more of that. This is a throwback to yesterday's video. If you haven't seen yesterday's video, looking over stage number 2 of FarmCon 21, make sure you go and check it out there, because yesterday there's a very brief pick at this, and we were speculating that this may well be a Deutz top liner combine. So I thought the Deutz, based off the chunkiness of the header panel in there, and you know, would you believe it, we were right. This was shown briefly in the engineering video around the sound design in this testing platform that they have there. You can see they were actually referring to the wiper noise there, and this on the very corner of the screen. If you zoom right in, lo and behold, there is a Deutz AgriLiner, and look at it. It looks tiny and it doesn't look very good because, well, why would it? It was in the tiny corner of a screen, but it's in. We have it coming into game there, which is fantastic to see. So shout out to my channel member Harris, who was able to find that one for me, and he brought that one up to my attention. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see what that looks like in game when we get a bit closer to it. I think that might. My next question would be, what does that replace? Does it replace the Dominator? Does it replace the TX34? I just don't know, but or hopefully it just adds to it. That would be the dream, but I guess we'll find out. Saw a couple of other different little bits and pieces. We saw a new baby Manitou, and look at it. It's teeny, it's adorable, it's fantastic. So this is handling some of the grapes here when we're actually looking into the new crop types. Interesting to see that the pallet, whoever was driving this, still hasn't got the pallets on properly. Never mind, but at least they're not bouncing off everywhere. That's a starting point, I guess. Love to see a little bit more about how those physics handle for the pallets there, but I guess we'll just have to go with it and hope that it's going to be pretty good there. But nice to see that that is all, that we got another little Manitou in here. Lovely little thing, nice and compact as well. So that's another telehandler. It's another new mod there. I'll take it. I always want to see more, and there we go. And I'm saving what could potentially be the best until the very last. I was looking through the video again today for any kind of bits that I may have missed for this this video this evening. If you haven't seen it, the Giants YouTube channel does now have the crop video on their channel, so you can go through and watch that. It's a very well produced video with Ken, who is out in the middle of a vineyard somewhere, talking about why they went for all these different crop types and the process behind them. Do go and check it out. Strongly recommend you go and pop over. I might even, if I remember to, put the link down below in the description. But for this one, something crept up and I had to go back and freeze it, and lo and behold, it's this. Now, it doesn't look like much, but to me, it's not a 7810. To me, that is the 50 series John Deere. I think it's the, without seeing the size, 3650 would be probably the minimum guess, but it could be even bigger than that. It does have the way the bonnet kind of starts narrow and goes out and then in a little bit, which may suggest it's a little bit bigger there. Actually, it could be like a 4650 or something of that range. But what's interesting is that could be another classic older John Deere. So that raises a lot of questions for me. If that is indeed the case, another thing that kind of gave away is the beacon placements on the middle here, rather than the John Deere 7810 had them both at the front. Which is pretty cool to see. And this also does look slightly rounded on the front end here, which would be in line with that cab that spins around like that. So that has raised a lot of questions. Perhaps we could be seeing that, you know, we know that the 7810 John Deere was in. Maybe they're going to bring like a different John or a classic tractor in for every machine tractor category size there. So you might see a small, medium, and large. Who knows? But something to watch out for there. But it certainly looks like from this, at least, that we're going to see some form of 50 series John Deere coming into Farm Sim 22. And so that's going to be it for today, folks. If you have enjoyed this, don't forget to leave a like, drop a comment down below as well with what you're most looking forward to for Farm Sim 22 and what you've liked about FarmCon as well. Let me know what you really didn't expect to come away enjoying and what you really have enjoyed, and what it kind of really all adds up to it, what you're looking forward to see more of before launch. If you haven't done so already, you can also pre-order. The link will be down in the description. You can use my affiliate link and that will help out the channel. And we'll bring you as much news regarding FS22 as possible moving forward. So until then, have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy what you're doing, and we'll see you next time.